Oh, the Rams came out on top in what was a pretty interestingly coached game. We're going to talk about the immediate takeaways and ultimately what does this mean for the players impacted rookie cards and the market trends that I see taking place right now, right here, Monday morning. Let's dig in. Alright, so as we go through this, we're looking at the recently sold items on eBay, and I like to sort by their highest listing first and then filter by February 13th, which was yesterday. And you know, Matthew Stafford did have some pretty good throws in this game. He had a couple clutch, a no-look throw in the final drive in the last couple minutes to lead them down the field. And Matthew Stafford's passer rating was only an 86.4. Cooper Kupp come away with the Super Bowl MVP. So we look at Matthew Stafford's, and I've got it with 240 results per page. And this is what's interesting. February 13th, 31 of his highest 240 sales in the last 90 days came yesterday. So definitely considerable amount of hype. PSA 10s, National Treasures, numbered out of 99, autograph, a lot of autographed, serial numbered stuff. PSA 10 stuff are his highest sales, and there's quite a few of them considering he's a 2009 rookie. Here's a BGS 10 Pristine, which is a really nice card. You know those BGS 10 Pristines are really rare to find. This is also numbered out of 25, pop for $2,500. In comparison to a Joe Burrow card, not nearly as much, right? But Matthew Stafford does have a ring now. He could be headed for the Hall of Fame now because he was so impressive statistically before the Super Bowl victory. But we look at the Super Bowl MVP with his 2 touchdowns. Cooper Kupp getting open over the middle of the field, making a clutch 4th down conversion in that run, getting 2 touchdowns for the Rams, absolutely critical. So we look at his highest sales, and he actually had 39 of his highest 240 sales came yesterday, and you could just see this little scroll bars is littered with Cooper Kupp 1 of 1 Nike swoosh auction 4,700. I think Cooper Kupp and Matthew Stafford's prices will stay elevated for quite some time. I think Cooper Kupp now will stay elevated longer than Matthew Stafford just because of Cooper Kupp's age and his fantasy relevance. I think that it's going to be very hard to argue not taking Cooper Kupp as the number 1 wide receiver in fantasy drafts for 2022, and I've already seen that in my early best ball drafts I'm doing on underdogfantasy.com, which you can do those with me as well. We'll be doing another one this Thursday night live with the Hitman. You can get in on those if you're a new user on Underdog Fantasy. Promo code QUEST, that gets you 100% instant deposit bonus, guys. You can put in as little as 10 or as much as $100. $100, 100% instant bonus. It's incredible, up to $100. So I do think Cooper Kupp's prices are going to stay elevated throughout the offseason here. And one thing I want to talk about here in just a couple minutes is where I see the football card market going now that the Super Bowl is done, which I think you're going to find very interesting because we've got a lot of still things coming up here. We're not quite in the offseason yet. A lot of people think we are, and I think this leads to some really interesting movement in the football card market. So Cooper Kupp, Super Bowl MVP, 2 touchdowns. Aaron Donald, absolutely clutch. Joe Burrow took 7 sacks. I think this was a big takeaway from this game. The Bengals, they've got to do better to protect Joe Burrow going forward next year. I mean, he had to get rid of the ball incredibly quick. Aaron Donald had 2 sacks. Von Miller had 2 sacks. Future Hall of Famer Aaron Donald was all over that yesterday. Wanting that ring so bad, and he got it, man. So you actually saw 36 of his highest sales go yesterday in buy it now format, and I think it's really interesting to compare Aaron Donald, a defensive player, a star in the league though, to that of Odell Beckham Jr. because they were both drafted in 2014. But you can see like a PSA 10, for example, Topps Chrome Auto Aaron Donald card selling yesterday in auction for $685. compare that to Odell Beckham, who did see 33 of his highest 240 sales yesterday, and I think that a lot of those probably came before he got injured, because he did catch the Rams' first touchdown of the game, and so he was playing pretty good. So you compare an auction that ended just Saturday for Odell Beckham Jr. on the exact same card as the Aaron Donald. The Odell Beckham Jr. ended for $250 on Saturday, 16 bids, compared to the Aaron Donald yesterday that ended for $685. So over 3 times as much. A very interesting takeaway. Like I've been talking about, guys, we're not limited to just offensive players and offensive skill position players on the quest. Defensive players are extremely relevant and will continue to have relevancy in the football card hobby, continue to have demand as long as they play it at a high level. It's all about their storyline and their pedigree and the level of performance that they generate on the field. And Aaron Donald was heating up in the second half. Odell Beckham was not. He actually tried to make an athletic move on the field and injured his knee. Nobody even hit him on that play. He tried to do an athletic twist and turn to catch a ball and hurt himself. Cam Akers had an extremely inefficient game, an average of 1.3 yards per carry. The Rams could not get a running game going at all. However, we're still seeing Cam Akers sell. There's a few reasons for that. He's very young. He does show quite a bit of athletic talent in his recovery from the Achilles injury at the beginning of last year. And Cam Akers has got a lot of good years ahead of him in the NFL on an elite team, now Super Bowl championship team. Even though he had an extremely inefficient game, it's not, his cards aren't going for a tremendous amount of money, not an elevated price tag like an Aaron Donald or a Cooper Kupp or a Matt Stafford, but they are selling, right? They are selling. You can see quite a few sales transactions on Cam Akers cards yesterday. I would temper your expectations for Cam Akers in 2022. I think that he continues to have some hype in the offseason. It'll be interesting to see where his ADP falls, and that's kind of indicative of where his rookie card should be. Certainly, he's not going to reach the level of Cooper Kupp. Plus, Cam Akers has, thousands of available different rookie cards to select, to buy for him, because he's a 2020 rookie, compared to probably half that for a Cooper Kupp and a third of that for a guy like Matt Stafford from 2009. Van Jefferson, he had a pretty quiet game. 8 targets, 4 receptions, 23 yards, no touchdowns. He did have a 13-yard reception. His wife actually went into labor during the Super Bowl, and after the game, he was actually taken to the hospital to see his new baby, which was pretty cool. I think Van Jefferson will continue to be a sleeper heading into 2022 season. He's still on his rookie contract with the Rams. I still am bullish on investing in him at a young age, because he is so good releasing off the line of scrimmage, generating separation. And although Cooper Kupp is the MVP and takes the limelight, Van Jefferson is a lethal downfield threat. One of the turnovers that Matt Stafford threw was to Van Jefferson in the back of the end zone on a big bomb. Matt Stafford just underthrew it a little bit, and Cincinnati was there ready to pick it off. So, in fact, Cincinnati won the turnover battle 2-0. So, in comparison, Joe Burrow only saw 18 of his highest 240 sales. Joe Burrow did have 101 passer rating yesterday. Really solid passing game. And Joe Mixon even threw one of those touchdowns, which is pretty cool, to T. Higgins. You saw the big 75-yard bomb from Burrow to T. Higgins that was just a tad bit controversial, because T did give a little 1 second tug on Ramsey's face mask there to get by him to catch that bomb, and the refs didn't call that, but they call, they call the little ticky-tacky, which was, I don't think that was necessarily holding there at the end. It was just so minute. It didn't impact I don't think it impacted the receiver's ability to catch that pass at all. But anyways, I digress. I don't think that you should be panic selling on Joe Burrow's rookie cards. I think that's dumb. He's very young. I think he's going to continue to play at a very high level. I think you're going to see him back in the playoffs next year, potentially making another run. The Bengals have got to improve their offensive line, and considering how poorly their offensive line has been ranked this season, they played really well throughout the first half of the game last night. They played really solid. So I think you're going to see prices on Joe Burrow's rookie cards continue to be really high, especially on super rare stuff like this. Man, and these were yesterday, so I think you're going to continue to see sales like this. I don't think it's going to fall off a cliff by any means or stretch of the imagination. Maybe some of his base stuff, more common stuff, raw base, more common stuff, you're going to definitely see cool off just because they got really inflated. However, his expectations are still going to be very high going into the next season. And card prices in the off season are driven by expectations. So that's what you're going to continue to see. And people are still going to continue to invest and speculate on Joe Burrow's future because he does have so much time left in the NFL. So I would be holding at this point and wait as, let this little cool off happen and just wait until people get excited. Maybe they draft an offensive lineman or sign a big offensive lineman here in the offseason. T. Higgins with the 2 touchdowns did generate some hype last night in the game. I want to point this out because this was a high value auction I shared from the live stream at the end of the live stream Thursday night that ended Friday morning. You could have got a T. Higgins rookie ticket auto, and this is an example of capturing impulsive, emotional buyers that are watching a game, getting excited about a player's performance, and immediately going to buy, something that they know is highly liquid. That's nice. It's got an on-card autographed, rookie ticket autos. So you could see here a best offers accepted, $99.99 and $41. These were both yesterday. But what I want you guys to pay attention to is the time at which these ended. These ended after the game yesterday. So this is immediately after the game, prices cooled back down. This $99.99 best offer accepted was at $40. If we go back even further to T. Higgins and kind of scroll down a little bit, like, wait a minute. Okay, here was one yesterday for $120. So 3 times as much as that auction after the game was $120. What time did this one end, you ask? This one actually ended at 8:37, which would have been right around the time or right after the time where he made that big 75-yard touchdown. That was his second touchdown of the game. So you can see the type of price increase you can see from a performance spike in a card, that scarce card that has all the factors that make it super liquid in the market, that a mid to even high tier investor or collector would want to target, and that's rookie ticket auto, T. Higgins. So tremendous price spike, so that's the kind of ROI you can see in a quick flip if you're investing in the right card at the right price point. Wanted to definitely show that win to you guys because that was a big win from Sunday night, selling at the right time. And that's why I advocate selling your cards in a buy it now format, cards like this. And so it's there, it's available. If you have good reviews and good pictures, then you present an opportunity to capitalize on some of those more emotional, impulsive buyers when they see those big plays, especially in a big game when tens of, if not hundreds of millions of people watching last night. So, Jamar Chase, relatively quiet game. Even though he was the target leader, he did have 8 targets. He was heavily involved in like the short and intermediate routes. He had 5 receptions for 89 yards. Nothing too spectacular. 46-yard long on a play. And of course, he's a 2021 rookie. So we're going to continue to see hype. Like I expect very much, like you saw T. Higgins prices to fall back down. Wide variety of availability from 2020 rookies, just like Cam Akers. And he's not perceived as the true number one. However, I think you're going to see, depending on the game script scenario and the defensive schemes that Joe Burrow is seeing, you're either going to see T. Higgins go off or you're going to see Jamar Chase go off. And so I think you're going to continue to obviously see significantly elevated hype and demand for Jamar Chase throughout this offseason. He's going to be one of the top wide receivers taken in fantasy drafts in 2022, which is going to continue to keep a lot of attention, a lot of talk, a lot of hype for his football cards. His prices are going to stay elevated. Plus, you have brand new products. Everybody wants the hottest, newest thing, and that is the sets coming out that have Jamar Chase's rookie cards. So you're going to continue to see that as well. Yeah, comparing Joe Mixon to Cooper Kupp is interesting. Joe Mixon did see quite a bit of his highest sales yesterday, but I would argue that a lot of these were earlier in the game compared to, you can see kind of like a bevy of sales further down the sheet. These are going to be his highest sales from yesterday, February 13th, like a 10 out of 10, gold, 9.5. This card in a Cooper Kupp would go for several $1,000s. So, for example, and you can comp this. So obviously, you know, it's no surprise. I mean, Super Bowl MVP, Cooper Kupp, historic wide receiver season. Joe Mixon has been a top 5 running back this season. He is a very solid athlete. I think you're going to see he's going in his ADP is currently around the middle to beginning of second round in fantasy drafts for 2022. That's going to keep him elevated. It's going to keep him hyped. However, you know, people are tempering their expectations a little bit. He is a 2017 rookie. He is a running back, which puts more wear and tear on your body. He did hold up really well this past season, but that definitely makes a lot of not collectors so much, but investors that are specifically looking at the investment side, cautious on investing in him, especially high-end stuff. I could see definitely grabbing some low-hanging fruit, some optics, some rated rookies. Those cards are wonderful from 2017. In fact, Cooper Kupp's have got to an all-new high. I mean, his cards are so expensive now. If you look at just like what his recently ended cards are at, his base rated rookies and his base prisms. I mean, look at this lot of just 2 base silver prisms, $125. This is like 2020 prices for Christian McCaffrey we're seeing right now for Cooper Kupp. And I think these are going to stay elevated through the offseason. 2017 product is already fairly scarce, especially compared to 2019, 2020, 2021. And, you know, that's the product that Mahomes and Deshaun Watson came out of. And all these really, really, really dynamite athletes. And now you add Cooper Kupp to it, his historic season, his Super Bowl MVP. It's absolutely incredible what his base prism rookie cards are selling for right now. It's insane. I think these aren't going to fall off a cliff. I think these are going to stay elevated. So herein lies my big, takeaways moving forward now. Now that we're past the Super Bowl, now that we're no longer focusing on active performance, now it's all going to be around speculation, hype. And so we've got another event that we're going to be building up into, and that's the NFL draft here in just under 2 months. And so that's going to breathe new life into a lot of teams, an opportunity for them to improve their supporting cast, to improve some key components on their team. You've also still got a lot of coaching changes and personnel changes. So that's still going on. This all is leading to nothing but conversation, talk, speculation, hype. It's all that conversation, talk, speculation, personnel changes, and draft all leads to hype for virtually every team in the NFL we're going to be getting excited about. And we want to get in early. I say I'm speaking as the hobby, as a collective, a group as a whole, wanting to get in early on this hype and buy low and before these players continue to go up and up and up here. And so I think we're going to see that combined with federal tax returns coming back. A lot of people receiving bonuses and stuff from 2021 in February. Now that all the accounting stuff is done, I think you're going to see a lot of people spending more money on football cards, which leads to all of this stuff is leading to an overall up market in football cards from now until the draft, and then a little bit of cool off and then a little bit of dip in May, June, July, until it picks back up again when mini camps, OTAs, and preseason starts in August. So it's exciting. There's definitely some opportunities. If you enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button, a little bell notification icon so you don't miss any action. And if you enjoyed this content, hit that like button, man. Share it with a friend. We'll see you in that next video tomorrow. Peace.